welcome to
Simple Conversation.
My name is Seijin.
And I'm Nadine. This is another episode about what's on our minds. Today's episode is childless woman versus single parent.
But first, before we go on to today's episode, I want to go ahead and answer a few questions that we got from last week. The first question, Nadine, do you consider being gay a sin? Was a question that we received. But I also want to go ahead and ask you as well, with you being a Christian woman, how do you feel as far as having a friend that is considered a sinner?
Well, to answer these questions, I'm going to recite actual verses from the Bible. And for the first question, is gay a sin? According to Leviticus 18:22, it states that you shall not lie with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. To answer the second question, how am I a friend with a sinner, considering that I am a saved woman, I'm going to go to Luke 6:31 through 32 and 36 through 42. And just as you want man to do to you, you also do to them likewise. But if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners love those who love them. Therefore be merciful, just as your Father also is merciful. Judge not, and you shall not be judged. Condemn not, and you shall not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. Good measures, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be put into your bosom. For with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back to you. And he spoke a parable to them. Can the blind lead the blind? Will they not both fall into the ditch? A disciple is not above his teacher, but everyone who is perfectly trained will be like his teacher. And why do you look at the speck in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the plank in your own eye? Or how can you say to your brother, Brother, let me remove the speck that is in your eye, when you yourself do not see the plank that is in your eye? Hypocrite! First remove the plank from your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck that is in your brother's eye. And from reading those verses, what I get from that is, first off, do not judge anyone.
True.
Second of all, I myself was once a disciple. I was learning how to be a Christian and on the right path. And still, as I am learning, even though I am saved, I am still in progress. I'm not at perfection yet. And I feel like now it's my turn to be someone's teacher, to spread the word, just as someone has spread the word to me. And I feel as, the Lord hasn't given up on me, so why should I give up on my friends, although they do certain things or live a certain way that I may not partake in personally, but who am I to say that it's wrong? Exactly. So that's all. That's my answers to your questions. And again, if you have any questions, we'll respond on the next episode.
Just leave your comments.
Now back to today's topic: childless woman and single versus single mother. Who's the best candidate? Sajin, what do you, as a childless woman, feel like you offer a significant other?
The reason why I feel as though that I would possibly be the best candidate would only mainly be because I don't have to worry about, if I do want to go out, that I need a babysitter. I'm able to just get up and go. I have my finances that are to myself. I don't have to worry as far as taking care of another being in my life. I would be able to focus on myself and what I want to do. Does that make me selfish since I don't have any children to raise by myself? No, I don't believe that. I just feel as though that I have all the love to give myself. With you being a single mother, how do you feel as though that makes you a better candidate?
Well, I believe in most cases, especially in my own, since I am a young mother, I was a younger mother, I'm not older or anything. But when when people think of young women, they think of dramatic or too emotional. But when a woman, even in a man, when they become parents, it makes them mature faster. So I believe I give maturity to the relationship where people don't have to worry about, oh, she's all about going out to the club and keying somebody's car or fighting somebody.
But at the same time, let's say if you do decide that you do want to go out, don't you feel as though that it's a hinder that you have to find a babysitter, or what if you can't find
Well,
one?
I know most women aren't blessed. However, I have been blessed. The father of my son is there when I need him. His family is there when I need them, and my family has always been there. So I never had that hindrance. However, I do know people that have no help. That has I only have one child, but I know women that has multiple children, and it's just them. Not even saying that it was multiple men, but something could have happened to the husband deceased, or something happened where they're no longer together, and she has to raise them on their own. But luckily, I've been blessed where I don't have that hindrance. And furthermore, when I know you can't say, every parent, some parents feel like their children are a hindrance, but when you become a parent, it's not like that. You more so want to spend time with your child anyways. It's not a hindrance.
So is that
it's a newfound blessing and joy.
So is that a big thing to you, as far as if you do find a man in your life, that you want him to get along with your son?
Of course, they have to get along. You can't have two bulls in the house that don't get along, and the first bull matters. So y'all have to get along. And honestly, well, I'll talk about that later. But me and my son have pretty much the same attitude in life. So I mean, we're a joy to people anyways. Everybody gets along with us. It's never been a difficult in the past.
So, to the women who do have multiple children and they feel as though that they cannot get out and they can't date, what do we say to them about finding love? Is there no hope for them?
I don't think there's no hope for them. I just think the men that they seek have to realize what they're getting into. They have to realize, oh, this is a single mother of two or more children, and either you accept the fact that whatever y'all do, y'all have to do together as a family, or you have to move on. And then you also realize when you become, when you're with that man, you get involved with that man, his family is going to grow attached to them. His friends, or you become friends with people that have children. That's when you set up play dates, like this weekend, child weekend. Yeah.
So at the same time, do you feel as though that you should let the man into your life and meet your child as soon as possible, or is it something that you feel as though that you should get to know the man that will be in your life on?
You know what? I don't know what TV show I heard this on, but a guy made an interesting point. Matter of fact, it was act like a lady, act like a man, act like a lady, think like a man. He was saying for the single mother to, how you really don't want to bring different men around your children. However, so you keep the man away, and you done spend 6, 7, 8 months with this man. You finally bring him around the child or children, and they don't get along. So now you feel like you wasted 8 or 7 months or whatever. So then you're like, I don't agree with bringing multiple men into the life. Me personally, I never dated somebody that I haven't known. Like, I either worked with the person, or I went to school with that person, or he was an acquaintance of mine for years. So he always was around anyways, to be around, even though, in junior high he was just a friend, but it eventually grew to more. But he already knew him, so it wasn't an issue.
I feel as though even with that issue, as far as getting to know someone, is a hassle, even if you don't have children, because if you do meet someone new, you try to get to know them.
Then they gotta go through your friends.
It's going through the process of getting to know, then meeting your friends and making sure they get along with your friends, getting along with your family, and then to find out that there's something that they do that you just cannot put up with. Do you just let it go early on in the relationship? Because most times if you're in a long-term relationship, they always tell you to try to work it out. But would you try to work it out if it happens?
That's something I think you have to sit down and talk each other. Both of y'all need to sit down and say, look, like one of my issues that I have with males, not so a son, but I'm a group person. I love
Very much
family.
so.
I love friends. And a lot of guys that I run into have issues with, oh, well, I don't really like hanging out with people, or I don't really like you having male friends. So that's something that you both at the beginning have to sit down and discuss. Look, this is what I like doing. Sometimes it's compromise, pretty much. Are both of y'all willing to compromise? Okay, so every weekend we won't hang out with my friends, but every other weekend we should.
But will that take them off their list if they say completely that they're not wanting, they're antisocial, they don't
Well,
want
that's
to
what
hang?
any issue or relationship. If neither one, if both of y'all, not neither one, it shouldn't be a one-way street. If both of y'all are not willing to compromise, there's no point in going forward because there's going to be other issues that come up. Or is only the male the one that's going to compromise, or only you going to be the one that compromise? It's not going to work out in the end anyway. Because there's going to be other issues. So if you can't hash out hanging out with somebody at the beginning, then imagine, oh, I don't want to move to New York, or I don't want to have 2 kids. I don't even like cats. Like, what happens then? But that's just how I feel. Like, if you should be able to work that stuff out in the beginning in the story.
So the question still lies: who's better, the singlest woman or the childless mother? Leave your
You
comments and answer.
decide.
This is Sajine saying be happy.
And this is Nadine saying stay beautiful.
Next time on
Simple
Conversation.
conversation.